Imagine this with me. It's August 25th, 2025. You're in Cox's Bazar, Bangladesh. It's this vibrant coastal city, humid air, lots going on. But inside a major international conference, there's this really powerful call, a kind of desperate plea almost.
Yeah, a moment heavy with significance.
Exactly. And it spotlights a crisis that honestly has just dragged on for, what, over 8 agonizing years now.
The situation of the Rohingya minority from Myanmar, a huge humanitarian issue.
So today, that's what we're doing a deep dive into. We're looking at that call to action.
Mm.
We'll focus on the sheer human catastrophe, Bangladesh's urgent message, and this detailed 7-point plan that was laid out.
Right. Think of it as like the essential guide to understanding one of the world's most pressing and frankly heartbreaking challenges right now.
And it was Muhammad Yunus, Nobel laureate and Bangladesh's interim leader, who made that plea. He talked about a shared moral obligation, didn't he?
He did. And what's so fascinating, or maybe critical is the better word, is why this moment, this specific call, feels so significant.
No.
Well, it's not just the scale, which is immense, but it's what it represents. It's a direct challenge, really, to the global community.
And challenge about what?
About our commitment to human rights, to international responsibility. Are we actually going to uphold these principles we talk about? This crisis, Yunus basically said, is a test case.
A test case we haven't exactly aced so far.
You could say that. It forces us to confront something massive that perhaps it's sometimes convenient to look away from.
And when we talk scale, the numbers are just mind-boggling. Cox's Bazar isn't just a camp, it's the world's largest refugee camp,
It's staggering.
home to 1.3 million displaced Rohingya. And get this, around 32,000 babies are born there every year.
32,000 born into statelessness, effectively.
Yeah, whole generations starting life with no recognized home, no citizenship.
And it's crucial to understand these aren't just, typical refugees fleeing a single event. The Rohingya are an ethnic group, mostly Muslim, from Rakhine State in Myanmar. And they've faced decades of persecution, systematically. Myanmar's 1982 citizenship law basically made them stateless.
Stripped them of their nationality.
Exactly. Which meant losing everything. Basic rights like education, healthcare, even just moving around freely in their own country. It was a deliberate erasure.
And that simmering persecution just exploded in August 2017, didn't it?
It did. A brutal military crackdown. That's when over 700,000 people were forced to flee, pouring over the border into Bangladesh.
The stories from that time were horrific. Arson, mass killings, sexual violence.
Unspeakable acts. The UN, human rights groups, they didn't mince words. They called it ethnic cleansing, a deliberate campaign to drive them out.
And the legacy of that violence is still playing out every single day in those camps.
Absolutely. Picture Kutupalong, one of the main camps. It's just hillsides covered in bamboo and tarpaulin shelters, as far as you can see.
A sea of makeshift homes.
Yeah, and within that, you have immense vulnerability. Nearly half the population are children, most without decent education.
And the risks for women and girls.
Heightened risks of gender-based violence, exploitation, and young men, desperate, often get lured by traffickers. It's a grim reality.
It makes the individual stories so important. We heard from Amina, a young mother there. Her words, they really stick with you.
What did she say?
She said, we fled burning villages and soldiers who killed without mercy. Here we are safe, but this is not home. My children deserve a future where they can live without fear.
Wow, that captures it, doesn't it? Safe but not home, and that yearning for a real future.
It's the voice of 1.3 million people, essentially.
Oh.
Every statistic is a person like Amina, a family just wanting normacy, wanting a future without fear.
And her story, like so many others, isn't an accident of fate. It's the direct result of state policies, of calculated actions designed to erase a people.
So it's not just random violence.
Not at all. It's systematic. And that's why this is such a profound challenge to international principles. Are we going to let state-sponsored persecutions stand?
Which brings us back to Bangladesh. They've shouldered this incredible burden. What did Yunus say about their role?
He was very direct at that conference, the stakeholders dialogue. He said, "It is our moral responsibility to take the right side of history and stop the armed actors from carrying out their horrible design of ethnic cleansing."
Strong words.
Very. And he was clear. This isn't Bangladesh's problem alone. The solution has to be in Myanmar, where the crisis originated.
But Bangladesh is paying a heavy price in the meantime.
Immense. Yunus specifically mentioned the impact on our economy, resources, environment, and society has been huge.
You can only imagine the strain on local communities in Cox's Bazar.
Exactly. Think about it. 1.3 million people arriving suddenly. It strains the economy, jobs, resources. There's been significant deforestation. Infrastructure is overloaded.
And tensions must arise.
Understandably, yes. Competition for resources, pressure on social services. It creates friction between the host community and the refugees, despite initial generosity.
And all this is happening while Bangladesh is going through its own major changes, right?
Absolutely critical context. They're still reeling from the political upheaval in August 2024. The mass uprising, Sheikh Hasina being ousted.
So the country is in a period of transition recovery.
Precisely. Which means their capacity to mobilize more resources internally is severely limited. They're stretched thin politically and economically.
So Yunus's call for global support isn't just asking for help, it's essential.
It's fundamental. It highlights this really important point about host countries. Their own stability, their own economic situation directly impacts their ability to manage a huge humanitarian crisis like this long term.
They can't do it alone indefinitely.
No country could, realistically.
Yeah.
It makes the call for international solidarity and real practical support absolutely vital.
Okay, so faced with this immense pressure, Yunus didn't just ask for help. He came with a plan, this 7-point plan.
Yes, a concrete roadmap, which is important moving beyond just describing the problem to proposing solutions.
And it seems quite comprehensive, aiming for justice, repatriation, stability.
It is. What's smart about it is how interconnected the points are. It's not just about aid, it tackles the root causes too.
All right, let's maybe walk through these 7 points. What's number 1?
First up, safe and dignified repatriation.
Okay, getting people back home.
But crucially, it stresses speedy, safe, dignified, voluntary, and sustainable return to Rakhine State. The key words there are voluntary and sustainable.
Meaning they choose to go back and can actually live there safely.
Exactly. It's about ensuring their rights and safety are guaranteed before and after they return, rebuilding their lives, not just being dumped back.
Makes sense. What's point 2?
Sustained humanitarian funding. This is urgent.
The money, basically.
Right. They need way more commitment to the Joint Response Plan for 2025-26. Aid has been dropping off. In 2024, they only got about 48% of the needed $852 million.
Less than half. That must have real consequences in the camps.
Huge consequences. It means cuts to food aid, healthcare, education. Critical services are underfunded, making life even harder.
Okay, camp 3.
Cessation of violence. Simple but fundamental. An immediate stop to all violence against the Rohingya in Myanmar.
Who's that aimed at?
Myanmar's authorities, but also the Arakan Army, that's a major ethnic armed group active in Rakhine. The demand is for both sides to ensure safety and stop forcing more people out.
You can't talk about return if the violence is ongoing.
Precisely. Safety first.
Got it. Number 4.
The need for a dialogue platform. This is about the longer term. Setting up consultations between different ethnic communities in Myanmar.
To try and build some understanding. Reduce tension.
Yeah, foster communication. Pave the way for peaceful coexistence down the line. Reconciliation is impossible without dialogue.
Right. Point 5 moves outwards regionally.
Yes, regional and international engagement. This calls on ASEAN, the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, and Myanmar's neighbors to be much more proactive.
Proactive how?
In helping create conditions in Rakhine that are actually conducive to return. It specifically supports ASEAN's own 5-point consensus on Myanmar.
So leveraging regional influence.
Exactly. These countries have clout and a direct interest in stability there.
Okay, number 6 sounds serious. Combating ethnic cleansing.
It is. This is Yunus urging the world to stand firm against ethnic cleansing. Not just condemn it, but actually recalibrate relationships with Myanmar's authorities and armed groups.
Meaning, use leverage.
Yes. Use diplomatic and economic pressure to push for a just resolution. Stop acting like it's business as usual.
And the final point, number 7.
Strengthening accountability. This is about justice.
Oh.
By pushing forward cases at the International Court of Justice, the ICJ, and the International Criminal Court, the ICC, and making sure any existing ICJ orders, like provisional measures, are actually implemented.
So pursuing legal avenues against the perpetrators.
Holding people accountable for atrocities. It's crucial for preventing future crimes and for giving victims a sense of justice.
Looking at all 7, you really see how they fit together.
Absolutely. You need the immediate aid, yes, but you also need the violence to stop, dialogue to start, regional players involved, global pressure applied, and ultimately accountability. None of these work in isolation.
It's a complex puzzle, and this plan tries to address all the pieces.
It's ambitious, certainly, but arguably necessary given the scale and complexity of the crisis.
So where does this leave us? What does this mean bigger picture, especially for you listening?
Well, this conference in Cox's Bazar isn't happening in a vacuum. It's setting the stage for a big UN conference on the Rohingya crisis planned for September 30th, 2025, in New York.
So the spotlight is potentially shifting onto this issue.
Hopefully, because as Yunus argued, this isn't just some distant regional problem. It's a fundamental test of global commitment to human rights, to international law.
And the situation inside Myanmar itself makes things even harder, right? The civil conflict.
Massively complicates things. You've got the military junta fighting various ethnic armed groups, including the Arakan Army and Rakhine. The Rohingya are literally caught in the middle.
Making any talk of safe return incredibly difficult right now.
Extremely difficult. They're vulnerable to violence from multiple sides. This internal chaos just underscores why a unified, strong international effort is so critical. The ripple effects go way beyond Myanmar's borders.
And then there's Bangladesh's own changing situation. You mentioned the political upheaval in 2024. How does that play into this?
It adds another layer. Post-Hasina, Bangladesh is navigating new regional dynamics, trying to mend fences with Pakistan, managing tricky relations with India.
So they're dealing with their own foreign policy shifts, too.
Yes, which, again, highlights why they can't be expected to manage this massive refugee crisis alone, while also handling their own domestic recovery and complex regional politics. It reinforces the need for that unified global approach Yunus called for.
It really paints a picture of a crisis entangled with so many other factors: internal conflict, regional politics, international law.
It truly does. And it makes the world's response, or maybe the lack of a strong response so far, a really stark indicator of our collective willingness to act on our stated values when things get complicated.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, that call from Muhammad Yunus in Cox's Bazar feels incredibly urgent. We've unpacked the scale of the suffering, the details of that 7-point plan.
A plan whose success really depends entirely on genuine international buy-in and sustained action, not just words.
Absolutely. The fear is that the Rohingya become another forgotten crisis. So maybe the question to leave you with is this: what role do you think the global community, or even you personally, have in making sure a tragedy like this finds a just resolution and isn't just forgotten by history?